Smell good? Dino? It's Fred's favorite. Roast loin of Stegosaurus. Oh, it needs a little rock salt. Out of salt. Better put that on my list. Maybe you can have the bone, Dino. That's his, if you've been a good boy. Have you been a good boy? Okay, you can't be much better than that. Mwah. Oh!
Hey, Wilma, I'm home.
Oh, hi, dear. Ooh, what's in the box? Is it for me?
Well, in a way, yeah.
Ooh. Oh, hurry up and open it. I can't wait.
Oh, Dino, take it easy. How could I open a box with you crowding me like that?
Oh, isn't he cute? He thinks it's something for him.
Well, he's going to be disappointed. Look, isn't it a beauty? Huh?
It's a water buffalo hat.
Uh-huh. The best that money can buy.
Isn't there anything else in the box?
Well...
Fred, that's not fair. I asked you if it was for me and you said yes in a way.
Well, it is for you in a way. You want me to look good at the lodge meetings, don't you?
Oh, brother.
What's the matter, Wilma? You sour about something?
Oh, no, I'm not sour, but I don't think you should be spending money for a new lodge hat when your old one is perfectly good.
It's getting shabby. Besides, if Barney can buy a new lodge hat, why can't I?
Barney bought a new one too.
Well, sure, but you can bet his wife isn't bawling him out for spending the money.
And I don't think that you should spend good money on a new hat when there's nothing wrong with your old one.
But, Betty, honey, it didn't cost much. Besides, Fred got one too.
So do you have to do everything Fred does? If Fred jumped in the river, I suppose you'd jump in too.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to, Betty. You see, Fred can't swim.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Woo-woo! Gotcha!
Isn't that cute? She wants more cactus juice.
Oh,
She just loves it. Now look at your picture book while Mommy and Daddy finish their dinner. Oh, that's a picture of a man building a house, Pebble. And that's his hammer. He pounds with it.
Gaga.
Oh, that's a saw. It cuts through things. Like that, Pebbles. Like your father, only not nearly so fast. A saw could take a lesson from your daddy. Fred, don't eat so fast.
Huh? Oh, sorry, honey. I got to hurry and finish so I won't be late for the lodge meeting.
Lodge meeting tonight?
Yeah, and I'm going to wear my new hat.
Fred, I was hoping we could go to the movies. The Monster from the Tar Pits is playing tonight.
I'm sorry, honey, but my lodge meetings come first. I better start getting ready.
Fred, I don't like this a bit. You're always going to lodge meetings, and I have to stay home with nothing to do.
Nothing to do? Why, you've got plenty to do, Wilma. There are the dishes to wash, Pebbles to put to bed, things to iron, garbage disposal needs fixing. Boy, I wish I had as much to occupy my free time as you have.
Why don't you take me with you to the lodge meeting?
Take you. Honey, you know I can't do that. The Water Buffalo bylaws expressly forbid a woman even setting foot inside the lodge.
Can't you change the bylaws?
No.
Why not?
Because the bylaws say you can't. Change the bylaws.
Hello, Wilma. Greetings, Brother Flintstone.
Greetings, Brother Rubble.
And now for the Water Buffalo Handshake.
Luawa.
Luawa. Wahoo. Wahoo. Wahoo.
Wahoo.
Wahoo!
Oh, cut that out, you two.
Oh, yes, you better be quiet or the bylaws will get you.
Now, don't mind Wilma Barney. She's just sure because she can't go to the lodge meeting with us.
Yeah, Betty feels the same way. She can't understand why women aren't allowed.
See?
Yeah, well, don't look at me. I didn't write the bylaws. Goodbye, honey. Mwah. Be a good girl, Pebbles. Mwah. Come on, Bonnie. Let's go. Hey, cut that out, Dino.
You better kiss him too, Fred. Remember that the vet said if we don't treat Dino like one of the family, he'll feel rejected.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy, what I go through for the mental welfare of my family.
Oh, Fred,
Well, now what?
I want you to suggest that wives be allowed to accompany their husbands to the meeting.
Wilma, please be reasonable.
Fred, it can't hurt to suggest it. Promise me you will.
Well, all right, if I get a chance.
Thanks, dear.
How about that, Bonnie? Now our wives want to attend lodge meetings.
Yeah, well, as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Now, what's that got to do with our wives wanting to come to lodge meetings?
Well, nothing really. I just felt like I ought to keep up my end of the conversation.
Oh, boy.
All hail our grand poobah.
Woo-ah-wah.
Woo-ah-wah.
And a woo-ah-wah to you too, gentlemen. We'll start our meeting with a report from our treasurer.
The lodge is broke. The following members have not paid their dues.
I think we should really save that for the after.
In order to save time, I will just read the names of those who have paid their dues. Brother James McFossil and Brother Sam Slackheap.
Thank you, Brother McFossil.
Not at all, Brother Slackheap.
And now I will welcome suggestions for improvements for the lodge.
Oh, hey, Fred, now's the time you could keep your promise to Wilma. You know, suggest that we let our wives come to the meetings.
Gosh, Bonnie, you think I should?
Well, like Wilma said, it can't hurt to suggest it.
Okay, I'll suggest it. Okay.
The suggestion.
Gosh darn, men, one at a time.
I
Brother
suggest
Quartz.
that.
Wait a minute. I had my hand up first.
What are you getting on?
Oh, yes, I did. The minute the poobah said more suggestions. Wait a minute. I had it first. Up went my hand. There.
Well, not fast enough, because my hand was already up.
Oh, yeah? Now listen, Quartz.
That's enough, Brother Flintstone. Now go ahead, Brother Quartz. What is your suggestion?
I suggest that we allow our wives to attend the meetings.
What are you trying to do?
Down with Quartz!
Throw him out!
Now, Brother Flintstone, we are ready to hear your suggestion.
Yeah. I am, gosh, in all the confusion, I guess I forgot it. I'm sorry I got in so late last night, Wilma. We had a long meeting.
I understand, Fred. By the way, how was the meeting?
Oh, it was okay.
Did you suggest that wives be allowed to attend the meetings?
Well, it was suggested, yeah.
What was the result?
A fractured collarbone and 3 cracked ribs.
What?
Believe me, Wilma, there isn't a chance in a million years that wives will ever be allowed in the lodge. You better forget all about it.
Well, I think the lodge is making a big mistake. Wives could help liven things up.
Well, you might be right, Wilma. Just mentioning wives last night caused more excitement than we've had at a meeting in years. That was a good dinner, sweetheart. I certainly enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did, Fred. It's always a pleasure to cook for someone who appreciates it.
Yeah, that's what my mother used to say.
Oh, no, Fred, no bones. Don't put bones in the disposal.
Oh, I'm sorry, Wilma, I forgot.
Well, what should we do tonight, Fred? You know, it's been so long since we've been out dancing.
Oh, I can't tonight, Wilma. There's a lodge meeting.
Again? But you just had a meeting last night.
I know, but this is special, Wilma. A lot of out-of-town members will be there. I just have to attend.
Fred, I'm getting pretty tired of this. Every time I want to go out, you have to go to a lodge meeting.
Oh, be reasonable, Wilma. I was home every night last week except Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. You want me to be a recluse?
Oh, boy, I give up.
Hi, Wilma. How now, Brother Flintstone?
How now, Brother Rebel? Put it there.
Hi, Wilma. You look like I feel.
Yeah, I've got the "My Man is a Water Buffalo" blues.
Woo-wah! Woo-wah-wah!
Woo-ah, woo-ah-wah!
Wah-wah-wah-wah!
Oh, we can cat that out. The idea of two grown men making a noise like that, honestly, I'm worried about you two.
We have to make that noise, Wilma. It says so in the bylaws.
That's right, Wilma. Article 219, Section 4, and I quote, when two or more water buffalo meet.
Bonnie, that's classified information intended only for water buffalo ears.
Ooh, sorry, Fred. Hey, well, it's time to go.
Do you have to leave so soon?
Yep, it's a very special meeting, and we want to get there real early. We don't want to miss anything, right, Fred?
You're right, Bonnie. The earlier we get there, the better. Ooh-wah, ah-wah.
Yeah, and the later we stay, the better. Wahoo!
You said it. Oh, Wilma, don't wait up for me, honey. Good night.
Ditto, Betty.
Shall we be off, Brother Rebel?
I'm with you, Brother Flintstone.
Yeah.
Well.
Know a good lawyer? Maybe we could sue the Grand Order of Water Buffalo for alienation of affections.
Yeah, I wonder how real water buffaloes spend their evenings. Do you suppose they leave their wives at home in the swamp and they go to human being meetings?
They probably do. All males are the same, whether they're men, water buffaloes, or hoot owls. Ooh, by the way, where's Bam Bam?
Oh, he's home with the babysitter. I thought Barney and I were going to go out together until he lowered the water buffalo boom.
Yeah. Well, we have the whole evening ahead of us. How's some two-handed rock canasta?
If you're sure the excitement won't be too much for us.
Huh. Well, that's another game for me.
Yeah. Well, you're hot tonight. I'm terribly sorry, Wilma. I spilled cactus cola all over your table.
Oh, don't worry about it, Betty. It won't stain.
Well, I wonder what our ever-loving water buffaloes are doing about now.
Wish I knew. Oh, I'd give anything to see what goes on in those meetings.
So would I. But the only way a woman could find her way in there is to fall out of an airplane.
Yeah. Or sneak in wearing a disguise. What did I say?
What, to sneak in wearing a... Wilma, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I think I'm thinking what you're thinking. And if we're each thinking what the other is thinking, let's not just sit here thinking.
I'll get Barney's extra hat.
Right. Oh, Betty. May I leave Pebbles with your babysitter?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I'll get her and I'll take her back over.
Goo goo gaga.
Oh, come on, Pebbles, honey. You're going bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Aunt Betty's going to take you to see Bam Bam.
I'll be right back, Wilma.
Okay, and while you're gone, I'll dig up a couple of Fred's old suits.
What are you making with your building boulders, Bam Bam?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a butterfly. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
You want it? I'll try to catch it for you. Oh, I'm afraid I can't reach it. Oh, my goodness. You certainly are the strongest baby in the world.
Yeah.
Bam Bam, put Miss Flintstone down. I brought you another customer. Look who's here, Bam Bam.
Bam, 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 bam.
He always does that when he sees pebbles. I won't be very late, Mrs. Sitstone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Are you sure Fred won't miss these suits?
Oh, he discarded these long ago. I just never got around to sending them to the Stonebrook mission. Boy, these scissors are dull. There. Now I'll take it in the back like I did mine.
Hold it. I'm supposed to look like a lodge member, not Gina Lodabricks.
There. How's that?
Oh, much better.
And now for the finishing touch.
What is that?
A mustache.
Oh, how do I look?
Like Betty Rubble with a mustache. How do I look?
I look like a wife who's trying to sneak into her husband's lodge meeting.
We'll be all right as long as we keep our hats on.
Oh, you're right. You said it. If we lose our hats, we're dead. Ooh,
Password. Come on, give the password.
Why,
Give the password. Password. Enter, brother.
Whew. Well, so far, so good.
Yeah, let's just keep our fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed.
Woo-ah-wah, woo-ah-wah.
Woo-ah-wah.
You two must be the out-of-town members.
Yes. We're from out of town. In fact, we're way out.
On a limb.
Well, it's nice to have you with us. I'm Brother McBoulder.
I'm Brother Smithstone, and this is Brother Johnstone.
Nice to have you with. Nice to meet you. Come on, let's get seats while they're getting good.
If you don't mind, we'd rather just stand in back. We may have to leave in a hurry.
Why?
Because Brother Johnstone's wife is expecting a baby.
She is? She is.
That's wonderful. Congratulations, brother.
Oh, trouble. He knocked my mustache loose.
You go ahead and get a seat, Brother McBoulder. We'll see you later.
Okay, brothers.
Wow. That was close. I nearly cleared the whole deal.
Oh, this is a crazy idea, Wilma. I'm ashamed of myself. Let's get out of here.
Okay, but we better glue your mustache back on in case somebody sees us on the way out.
All right, brothers, we have a lot to do tonight. Sorry, one more time. All right, brothers, we have a lot to do tonight. So will you all take your seats? Thank you.
There. That'll hold. Come on, let's go.
Hey, you guys. Where are you going? The Puma said everybody wants seated. Come on, find your seats.
We're gonna cut the business part of the meeting short so we can get right to the fun. But first, I'd like to read a message from Brother Quartz. He's recovering nicely, and he's sorry he ever made the suggestion about our wives attending the meetings.
He ought to be sorry. Any guy who suggests that ought to be run out of town, as well as the lodge.
Hooray!
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 Boo.
All right. We will now recite the Water Buffalo Creed. Please raise and remove your hats.
Remove our hats?
We can't do that.
Time to go. Follow me.
We are proud to be a buffalo, the kind that likes the water.
We joined the
joined
water.
the water buffaloes because we know we oughta. Hooray!
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 Whew, we made it.
Fellas, are you going to be initiated too?
Initiated?
Yeah, they told us everyone that was to be initiated was to wait in here.
Us? Who's us?
Well, there were two other fellows with me, but they got scared and they went out that window. I never saw two fellows move so fast.
No? Well, just watch us.
Okay, you would-be water buffaloes. The three of you line up.
But, sir, we're not.
Quiet. Initiates must be silent. All right, forward march.
Hooray!
Woo! Yeah!
Hooray!
Hooray!
To become full-time water buffaloes, you men must prove you possess the right qualities. First, water buffaloes must have tender hearts.
Okay, Pooh-Bah. I'd say they're tender enough now.
Second, a water buffalo must be strong in the test of strength.
Hey, they're beating us. We'll have to pull harder. Did you ever see such dirty water buffaloes? We gotta do something about that. Hey, look over there.
You still want to know what they do at lodge meetings?
And now, the endurance test. New candidates. You will race our champion brothers, Flintstone and Rubble, to the end of the hall and back. If you lose, you must pay the penalty.
When he says go.
Yeah, I know. Just keep right on going.
Ready, set, go!
Getting tired?
I sure am, but not enough to sit down. Oh, we took an awful beating tonight. Do you know that?
Oh, I am as painfully aware of it as you are. Let's be honest. Betty, we deserve everything we got.
I guess you're right. We had no business sneaking into their lodge meeting.
Hiya, girls. Nice of you to stay up for us.
We didn't have a choice.
We had to stay up. Oh, how was the meeting?
It was all right, except a couple of cowards ruined the initiation by chickening out.
That's a shame. Well, come on, Barney, let's go home. Good night, Wilma.
Good night, Betty.
See you tomorrow, folks.
Fred, Betty and I have decided we don't want to go to your lodge meetings after all.
Well, now you're showing sense, Wilma. Women just don't belong at lodge meetings. In fact, no woman has ever set foot inside our lodge hall and never will.
Good for you, Fred. Well, I'm going to bed.
Good night, Wilma, darling.
Good night, Fred. And a happy ack-ack-a-dack to you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Hey! That's our secret password. Wilma, where did you learn that?
Oh, we have ways of finding things out. The hard way. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So, hi guys. This is obviously like a trip of an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do y'all think? Like, so obviously, this is not a very
progressive.
Modern, yeah.
For its time, and so I'm just wondering what y'all thought about it, and yeah.
Well, I can jump in because I've been giving it some thought because I've known he chose this episode for a while, and I remember watching it as a child, and I remember thinking it was just funny, and that the humor was that there was nothing ironic at all about the humor, that this was in fact a straightforward representation of the idea that women weren't supposed to go to lodge meetings, and that any idea of breaking that line was laughable. So I remember, and it all brought back to me the idea that so much of the humor of my youth was centered around the idea that girls and boys were different and that girls were supposed to do girl things.
Yeah, and that is changing now. My generation is getting a little bit better about that. Obviously, but
not perfect, but it's a lot. I mean,
it's not perfect,
we're allowed
but it's a lot better.
to go to lodge meetings.
Yeah, it's yeah.
They'd get a good lawyer.
I wasn't allowed to watch the Flintstones as a kid. Like, we watched it for a while, and then my mom was like, I don't want you watching this anymore. Which is odd. My mom was a real patchwork of like really modern things and really not modern things. But it was also partially because she felt that Fred was not nice to Wilma.
Right.
She was like, that's not a good marriage.
That's
the result is I'm single.
Yeah.
I'll speak on behalf of Fred. I think he goes through cycles in this episode. There are cycles where he's definitely full caveman sexist, and he's talking about you got a lot of things to do with the house. You got cleaning and cooking and fixing the garbage disposal, and which is ridiculous and cavemanish. But there is like a brief moment where he really considers asking, if he can have if women can come to the lodge meeting, but which happens a lot with men back then and now. Peer pressure forces him to shut that down because of his fear of looking weak to his other lodge members. And
and this sort of veers us into like locker room talk, because like the concept of like men like talking like that, like while it's just men present. That's something that's really interesting to me, because like as a person who does not feel entirely comfortable with my own sex, I have noticed that people will talk that way when they're just around me, but not necessarily when they're around like my female friends. And so I've always been uncomfortable with that. But
yeah, I can agree too. I think a lot of the times, a lot of men really want to think in a more progressive and a better way, but they have to keep up appearances for the other men they're around, which is kind of silly to me.
I think sexism hurts both men and women. If you really dig into it. I mean, obviously, women bear the brunt of, the damage, but if it's limiting, it's limiting because men have to put on I remember being younger and definitely having a father that was super tough, and I don't think he bought into gender roles, but he was just tough, And I remember that. I remember never wanting to let my dad down, and I don't know if that was something that somebody made him do, but
I do think probably it's bad for everyone. I mean, everybody is sort of, it's so funny. It's sort of like, this is totally taking a weird turn, but I've always been amazed that we have as many people in the country as we have, and we have two political parties to choose from. I'm like, really? Really? Are those really the only options? And we have all these people who have different upbringings and different points of view, and we really only supposedly have two options of how to be. I'm like, really? Seriously? I just feel like, so another couple of generations and maybe things will be a little bit more gray.
Yeah, and I mean, the binaries have always been very interesting to me, but the gender binary has been particularly interesting because I don't know where I am on that, and and so a variety of things are coming together in this episode, and the concept that there is only a man and a woman, and that's just not.
It also keeps them so separate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a war sort of thing. And like
bad.
Yeah, and even being a cisgendered man myself, I think every time you would kind of step out of that role, it was always something groundbreaking. Like my favorite color is pink growing up was Barbies, and that was always such a big deal when I was growing up with my parents.
You froze, and I wanted to hear what you were going to say. When you were young, what?
My favorite toy was Barbies, and my favorite color to this day is pink. And that even the earrings I wear in my ears are such a giant deal to a lot of people when it really shouldn't be. I think these binaries and these gender roles really stop each and every single individual from being their truest self. And we are finding out that like your truest self kind of overlaps with someone who you think is so much more different than you to begin with.
It's so funny. The Flintstones, and we're getting so deep. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I was thinking today that I had reason to be feeling particularly like a female today, and I was thinking like it's so far down on my list of ways I define myself. Like when I think about who I am, my gender falls really far to the bottom, and I think that's in part because I had a mom like you, Helen, who was always sort of policing what I watched and how I talked about myself and what I was interested in. But notably, she herself is sort of ultimate female, woman of the home, and very like she's right at home in her pearls and lipstick, and this is a costume for me.
Yeah. My mom was mixed. She was like definitely had lots of teapots in the house.
I also think something interesting about this is that the women in this episode kind of, and in a lot of things, women often represent the underrepresented groups in America as a whole. And so when I was growing up, I always kind of related to the women in situations, because even this, just being in the room, is a topic that is very pervasive in like Black culture and queer culture and all these other cultures. So I feel like the women have always been a lot of the more role models for me, especially.
Oh, I see. Like they've had to stand in pretty much in popular culture in America for like every unrepresented group.
Yeah.
They're the only like represented, unrepresented group.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, Josh. I've never thought of it like that. Another thing that I will say is I am fortunate enough to have like, strong women in my life, but I am also count myself lucky to have cast 4 women out of 8 people in this episode, which I think is very important for a variety of reasons, but and especially like during the talkback, because like it's just important to me that that everybody gets a voice, and yeah.
Thank you. I have not weighed in yet on this, but I do thank you for allowing us to contribute to this, because this was such a fun way to, work together while the world is, convulsing and amid these weird, unprecedented times. Like we can find community in things we can talk about, and issues that are worrying us, and things that we can help. I don't know. That's all.
If you had told me that an episode of the Flintstones would be relevant today, I probably would have said you were nuts. And yet I think about Barney and kind of his blind fealty to Fred, and kind of his blind loyalty to whatever may be going on. And it seems a lot more serious than it should be, because I think a lot of the pack mentality, a lot of the kind of just polarization that's going on in our country is reflected in folks like Barney, who don't really have strong opinions themselves, but are more than happy to follow the lead of others without much independent thinking.
Absolutely. The relationship between Fred and Barney is whack.
Wow. Barney's never seemed so sinister.
Barney.
This is not the part of the after show where I admit that I earned an Academy Award for playing Barney in 1976.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played that role before, but and Fred and I go back a long way, so
yeah.
Felt like the chemistry between us was really strong.
Undeniable. Barney built the set. Have to thank him for that. He's a multi-hyphenate talent.
Many talent.
He won the Oscar for set design, which
yes, I did.
He did not mention.